Hi, I'm Kyle Bondo.
And I'm Timothy Chemo Bryan.
And you're listening to Podwrecked, the podcast that helps you survive your podcast. And today we're trying out different ways to record remote interviews.
And Kyle, why are we doing that?
Well, I don't want to throw shade, but let's just say in the world of remote teleconferencing, technology has gone to the moon in the sense. Since the quarantine, since March, everything has just gone crazy with video teleconferencing. Zoom finally figured out their encryption problem. Squadcast solved some of their technology problems with different browsers, and new competitors have emerged. And some competitors that were kind of like a meh pass maybe a year ago have come back. In fact, this podcast right now, although we normally use Squadcast at Squadcast FM, is using Riverside FM today. I know. Scandal. What do you think so far, Tim? We've been in the Riverside.fm ecosystem for roughly 5 minutes. It took me 5 minutes to turn on an account, send you a link, figure out the technology problems. I couldn't get my mic working at first. You didn't have your camera working at first, but now that's all kind of been solved. That didn't really take a whole lot of figuring out. We kind of just bumbled our way through it. Kind of works now. What do you think?
It works nicely. It's a very interesting interface. I mean, obviously they have their name right on top there, so you know what you're using. So you know you're on Riverside FM. We have the show title, Podwrecked Test Run here. We're looking at the recording. We got the chat right there and rocking and rolling and all that good stuff. It is a little bit different interface, but the thing of it is I don't know if you noticed this, Kyle. You can share screens with our audience.
Share screens.
You can share screen with your audience.
Well, that's because
if you look at the main bar, if you click on the share screen, you can share screen with your audience.
Well, let me try to share my screen.
So, Kyle,
I will share.
Why don't you share your screen?
I will share my screen. Here we go. Let's share this web. I have a web screen up, and there's my screen. Mm-hmm. Can you see it?
And it just takes a minute or two for that to load. No, I've got the little wheel. I've got the podcaster's kit. Yes, I see it right there. And it's right on for me, it's Kyle on the left, Tim on the right, and he's got the
oh no. Stop sharing screen. Did I lose him?
There for us.
There he is. He's back. He's back. Okay, so we just found our first problem. So we share the screen on Riverside.fm, and nope, things go south. Now that could be.
Well, I can still see you.
Okay,
and I can still see me. And then I saw. So I've got so when that happened, I had 3 columns: you, me, and then the screen you were sharing. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't give you. I'm not seeing a full screen share, which is fine.
I don't either.
For me, I don't need a full screen share.
There's like a missing box now. All of a sudden, there's just that where the screen was being shared. It's now just gray box. So now there's it used to be just you and me on the screen, and then when I shared my screen, it was you, me, and a little area where I could see the screen. The minute I started scrolling, you froze. Mm-hmm. So I turned screen sharing off. It took about 10 or 15 seconds. You came back, and then the box where it screen shares is still there, but there's nothing in it. It's just a big gray box. So that seems like an oops.
Well, how about I share a screen here?
Okay, let's try it your way.
Let's do a Chrome tab.
Okay.
And let's do this, and we'll share. All right. Now, what I see is I see the invite from you for our Squadcast. Are you seeing that?
I am. It just came up. It just filled that box. It went from black to then I can see the little square screen. It's not very. I mean, I can see the screen share, but it's not. I mean, it's really tiny. I almost need to get my glasses out to see what that looks like. I don't know if there's a button here that gives me.
Well, you need to get your glasses anyways.
Oh! I double clicked on that screen, it became a big screen on the top, and you and I dropped to the bottom.
Nice.
Try that. Try to double click on it and see that.
Now, there we go. Now I can see us again.
That's much better. How about if I double click on your face? What happens?
Oh,
and you go to there you go. And I double click on my face, and there I am. Oh, check that out. Very cool. Okay. That was
what did you do?
All I do is click on your face. I can make you big or me
now
big.
I can make me big.
Yeah.
I can make us all. Oh, I can. So I'm still sharing my screen, folks. Still sharing my email here, and now I've put myself on the left and Kyle on the right, and my email is right in the middle.
That is so cool. I can move all the faces around.
Happy
Very
days.
interesting. Now scroll your screen so we can see like some screen stuff, and let's see if we can hurt it.
Sure.
Because you froze when I did it, so maybe I won't freeze. Can you scroll it? Oh, and there it is. Tim has frozen again. Okay. So screen sharing, not exactly a ideal experience. I'm not even sure if this will record. Wait for Tim to come back. Is he going to come back? It's just so. I'm going to type in here. He froze into the chat. Let's see if he can see that. So let's see. I'll tell him to turn off the screen share.
I'm going to stop
see
sharing.
If he comes back. Hey,
okay,
he's back. Okay, so the screen share definitely buggy. That is a definite buggy feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, but cool. I mean, it's getting there, but that is not ready for prime time, because if you're in the middle of an interview and you pull up screen share and your interviewee freezes, that's not good. Especially someone who's not like technically savvy. That could terrify somebody. Like, oh no, and then what? So that's a
I think it's only meant to like share one screen.
Oh, we lost him again. It's just Tim staring off into space. Looks like he's about to kiss his microphone. Oh, the lovely microphone. There he is. Just there. Oh, he's breathing again. He's back.
He froze.
Clear. We have a pulse. Oh, he just came out of defib. He's alive. His eyes just opened. He's back. Lazarus has returned. Oh, Tim, we missed you. You've been gone for almost a full 10 seconds, maybe 15. That was a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You would never know, folks, if you listen to the show regularly. I'm often, Kyle goes and does one of his, Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven rants. And I just basically go to the bathroom, have a cigarette, and then pet the cat, and then come back in here.
There's a lady who's for sure. Not all glitters is gold.
Oh, here he goes. All right, I'll see you folks later.
She's buying a stairway to Podfest.
Okay.
So, Riverside FM. I mean, what do you think? I mean, the chat's kind of cool, but you can't turn it off. I mean, the chat window is here, right? Oh, nope. There's a little X at the top. I can turn it off. Okay, but now there's like a gray space.
You can turn it off.
A gray space here. That doesn't seem to... If I double-click your face, double-click my face, okay, I can make me big and make you small, but I can't seem to make it go back to normal.
Now double-click your face again, so that way you can make it equidistant.
That's how you do it. Okay, you figured it out. Okay, so
that's how you do it.
There's this weird, maybe it's something to do with the browser, the way your browser resizes. Maybe it needs to be refreshed manually. Okay, let's see what else. I see this thing in the corner. It says recording, and it says uploading local recording 21%. And I tell you the truth, I don't know what that
75%.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that is a cloud recording telling me that 21% of what we said so far has gone to the cloud, or it's got 21% left to go to the cloud, or it's recording every 21% of something to the cloud. Who knows? But I'm imagining it's something to do with the cloud recording. Let's see what else this.
Well, again, we did not read the instruction manual.
No, we're jumping right in cold because we're smart guys. We can figure this out, right? There is. Let's see. There's a little chat buddy in the window. I can talk to Jordan from Riverside.fm. He's welcoming me.
Hi, Jordan from Riverside.fm.
I know. Take a look around. You have any questions? Reply to this message. Okay, so that's probably tech support. All right, let's not bother Jordan. He's probably got a busy life. We'll leave him going there. Something else that Riverside does that I think is interesting is it has call-ins. There's actually a link here that I can send to someone. I'm assuming they can make a VoIP or voice over internet phone call and call the show. And I'm kind of curious to see how this works.
I have an idea. Why don't you send it to my cell phone? Can you send it to a phone?
I think. I'll send it to your. I'll send it to chat on Facebook. Okay, so I'll drop that link in there and hit there. Okay, so there you go. There's the link. Let's see if you can chat in on yourself, but you might have to mute your microphone, otherwise you're going to get a reverb.
I'm going to mute my microphone right now in 3, 2.
All right, so here we go. So Tim is talking. It's amazing things he's saying. Let me translate. He's saying, "Wow, I didn't realize my flip phone could actually do video chat." That's right. He's that old. He's got a flip phone, folks. Yeah, I know. You thinking like flip phone, like a really cool? No, like a clamshell. Like early Razor style flip phone. That's what he's got. And now he's got to figure that out, which means he's got to type in some codes, and he's got to remember what letter is to what number. So he's got like to hit like the 2 button twice to get the letter B. It's really sad, and he probably has 20% charge on it. So this probably won't work. He's still trying to figure out. He's looking at the screen. He's looking down. He's looking up. He's looking down. Yeah, it's not good, folks. I think he's putting his earbuds in. I don't know. And so,
all right, I sent you a question.
Oh, you sent me a question. Okay.
Yeah.
I have no questions.
It's saying question saved.
Okay.
Not to accept it.
Did you hear anything I said?
No, I did not.
Excellent. That's just for me and you.
Hold on.
You, the listener. Not
Time
for
out.
Tim.
Time out.
Okay.
Time out. I'm going to mute real quick. Hold on.
All right. Okay. So he's figured out. Maybe he's got the secret button. He's figured out the code, the handshake. I'm waiting for a message or something to pop up on the screen. Right now, I don't see anything. I see call-ins. Okay. So that's the call-in link. I see nothing.
Okay. It's saying, I will be placed in the waiting room.
In a waiting room. Okay. I'm looking at the waiting room. I don't have a waiting room. Okay. So nothing yet. Or maybe it doesn't work in the free version.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing. Yeah.
So what I'm getting here is question saved, and then I've got a camera check that I'm waiting on.
Okay. You have to download maybe you have to download some software on your phone for it to work.
No, it's
there it is. So
it's right there. Yeah.
What's the green button on your phone?
The green button says question saved.
Okay, so you're able to connect with the app, but the app doesn't seem to be connecting with our call, which is strange.
Well, it could be because we're on a free trial too.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thinking maybe the free trial. I guess we could ask Jordan. Yeah, does the call in work on the free trial? Let's ask that. Yeah, there we go. See, I just sent it. Not seen yet. Okay, so it's going to take... Oh, wait. So the bot got to me. He'll respond to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not 24/7 tech support. That's understandable. Yeah, new company. It's probably 3 guys in a basement somewhere. Mom making grilled cheese sandwiches. But for what they've built in their basement, it's got a lot of cool possibilities. Maybe that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Video seems to work so well.
This is what I see on my phone right now. So I can see us.
You can see us. Okay.
Do what we're doing. So somebody could watch, if we gave them the link, one of our salvage dogs, we could give them the link and they could watch us record the session.
There you go. Tim just renamed the salvage team the Salvage Dogs, as in salty dogs, because it's a very Sailor-esque type of thing. I love it. The Salvage Dogs. I'm there. I'm totally there.
Football game yesterday? Who won the football game yesterday?
We're not talking
40-7. No. 40-7.
No. We don't do sports. We don't do sports.
Tell me if that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's called Go Navy Beat Army, only that didn't happen. We've blocked it out. It didn't happen. It's an anomaly. Just a strange kind of those like Doctor Who moments. Just pretend it didn't.
If you say fake news, I'm leaving.
Oh, there you go. See? Hashtag fake news. There you go. It didn't really happen. Because that wasn't really the Navy team. That was the junior varsity Navy team.
Oh, yeah. There's a junior varsity Navy
Well,
team?
it's hard to run a football when you have to wear, your COVID mask. So
yeah. No, that's true. So the possibility, what I would say is, for the share screen, make it one. You know what? Hold on.
Okay.
So let's do this. Let's do a share screen. So I'm going to share my screen.
Well, didn't you break it last time we did that?
No, I didn't break it.
Yeah, it froze. You froze when you're done the share.
It froze for a second, but that's okay. We can freeze because we know we can get unfrozen. So I'll share my screen.
Okay.
And I'll just share it for like 10 seconds. Okay.
Okay.
See what it happens on the phone. So sharing right now in 3, 2, 1.
All right, here we go, folks. Oh. He's moving kind of funny.
Okay.
And he's gone. He's back. This is very jarring.
Nope, I'm still here.
It's very jarring.
I'm still here.
Okay, I got a black box just pulled up. Looks like looks like a Gmail account. Okay. But you double click on it. Now I can see it. Okay. And he froze. There you go. So screen sharing, I mean, we've done 3 tests on screen sharing. All 3 tests have failed. So the first initial screen does pop up, but then Tim freezes, which kind of removes the whole point of having a screen.
It actually pulled up on the.
Yeah. Does it come up on the phone?
Yeah, it came up on the phone.
Okay. So, I mean,
Yes,
Riverside FM, does it work? Yeah, it works. So far, okay, I haven't heard when you hear this recording, you'll know what it sounds like, because this is part 1. This will be what it sounds like. And if supposedly it records video, it's a definite add-on. It definitely records audio. You can have screen sharing with your guests. You can have live call-ins, but so far we haven't been able to make that work. You can do chat, which is kind of nice. So you can chat back and forth. You can add links and things like that, throw links at people. I can mute my mic and stop my camera. I can invite guests during the call, which is interesting. Okay, so if I send this link out, I imagine someone can probably join us video chat. But without having a couple more people to test to put this to the paces, I don't know if adding a screen share broke it. If I add a guest, what a third guest or a fourth guest, would that cause it to break?
Okay,
it might.
Check your chat.
Okay, checking my chat. All right. I see. Hey, this is us. This is my phone. Anonymous.
This is my phone from Anonymous.
Yes.
That was me.
That was you. So it finally showed up just now. I was
doing it. Well, no, I just did it just now.
Okay.
I'll do another one here. Yep.
So
it's showing up. Hey,
okay.
It's me again.
Okay, it says invite your guest. Anybody can join with this link. So it's a link. So I can send this link to somebody and have them join. All right, so let's end this.
This is our show, man.
Let's end this trial and drop into Squadcast so we can get a comparison. Because that's not good. All right, so that was been Riverside.fm. Okay, now we're gonna go to Squadcast. We're gonna need transition music. Here we go.
And we're back with Kyle and Tim on Squadcast. We're doing a side-by-side comparison here with Riverside FM and Squadcast. And so the reason why we're doing this is because we like to stay up to date on everything that's going on. We just got done with Podfest Masterclass, and I actually was talking to a few people, and they were like, hey, you got to try out this Riverside FM. And there's another one out there called Clean Feed, which I'm sure we'll try later on. But we had a really good and interesting jump in with Riverside FM. So that's going to be on here. You're going to hear some bloopers on it. We're going to leave all that stuff in because that's just the way we are. We jumped into it without reading any of the manuals, reading out any of the brochure stuff that you would normally want to read ahead of time. And we were just playing around with stuff. So that's what you got to hear today. You got to hear us try to break something, which we did. We broke a few things on it. And we came back with a few ideas of what it might be good for, and you know what you might be seeing in later episodes of Podwrecked, where we help you survive your podcast.
Which is really cool. I mean, it's really cool that we were able to do that because it gives you an idea of not only how another company is approaching this, and now that we're on Squadcast, now you're hearing. So you heard the Riverside.fm version, and now you're hearing the Squadcast.fm version, and you can judge for yourself audio quality. And we're definitely be listening to this to see what it listens like. But one thing I noticed, so to kind of conclude the Riverside part of this, is when I ended the session and you left the call, it immediately sent me a file, and it said a backup of my side of the conversation. I don't know if it did that for you.
Oh, yeah. I have a backup audio download to your computer.
So it sounds like it did a double ender in a sense that sent you a file and me a file of our own side of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm looking at as I left the window, I'm now looking at it says audio processing. So right now it's still processing both audio and video of our session. So it hasn't happened yet. And it's going to email me a link when it's done. So, so this is interesting because we've been talking on Squadcast now for about 3 minutes, and Riverside.fm still not done processing. That's an interesting thing to note because in Squadcast, when we drop out of the call on a Squadcast, even after an hour, it takes less than a minute and bang, all those files are done and ready to go. And now we're going 3 minutes. We'll keep watching the clock here and see how long it takes. It could be to the fact that maybe they just don't have any high-speed processing for this because you don't need it right away. But an interesting, again, side-by-side comparison, things to just off the top of your head, note, looking at that.
Well, and Kyle, I would think too that, and I'm wondering if the file that you get is going to be the audio and the video, because if it's video, we all know that video is way bigger than audio.
So it makes me wonder what the if we did audio only, if we would get a different result. So I thought it was an interesting little note that I picked.
It is very interesting.
So.
And, I got my MP3 for my audio right away.
That was true.
Yeah.
So I got my dark side recording, but the end of the session double ender did drop. I mean, seconds after I leave the session, and boom, the file was like, "Where would you like me to put this file?" I was like, "What file? What's going on here?" So. That was a very interesting side effect of that. So it's giving me a file immediately, but not I don't know what's processing. I do not know what it's processing going on. And I think you're right. I think video is it. And
I think it's processing the video file on that because the MP3 file that I have. Well, no, I don't know because the size of it is only it's 6 megs.
Well, we talked for 20 minutes. So is 6 megs, that seems awful small.
Well, that does seem small. So I'm going to open that up with my Windows Media Player here.
All right.
And we'll take it. I mean, you guys won't be able to hear it on your side of the house, I'm pretty sure, but.
You definitely hear it on mine. Here, let me play mine. You should be able to hear mine. Okay, 5. Oh, look at that. Countdown.
Oh, we got a countdown now.
It's the full 22 minutes. Hello. There you go. Okay. It's the full 22-minute file.
Now, Kyle, I got a 15-minute file.
That's weird. Why?
Yeah, that I don't know.
Okay, that's a problem.
That is a problem. Yeah, because I mean, we've had this with Squadcast before, where we've had issues, and we jammed it together. But and I've had an issue with Squadcast in the past where things weren't quite synced up.
Full transparency. We had a problem with Squadcast where your side didn't record correctly. And there is a button, a feature within Squadcast that allows you to pull the Chrome recorded version of it down because it records a local copy as well. It does like some sort of redundancy copying. And the file you get from that saves your bacon if you lost all your audio. But the downside of that is it's almost like it only records when you are talking on your microphone. If you stop talking, it stops recording. So all that dead space, which is me talking or us, neither one of us talking, is not recorded. So the file you pull down of you can't sync up with the file I have that actually got recorded. I have to cut and paste and figure out where all the pieces went to. And that was painful, but it was better than losing the entire file. So that's why that was out of sync. Now this one could possibly be the same thing. It could be the localized Chrome plugin download part of that, where you can't sync them. If the sync, I'll take a look and kind of piece them together. And by the time you guys are hearing this, I'll know the answer. But this is live. You don't know the answer when you're live. So, but in all fairness, Squadcast.fm. Now we're looking at Squadcast. Squadcast is a much cleaner interface. It's just Tim and I. The screens are full. If I double click on Tim's face, nothing happens, right? I can't screen share. It's not recording video. And I know they're coming. I think this is a feature that Squadcast announced at the one of the Podfest recently, that they're going to record video. I don't know if you need it, but I get it. Competitors are doing it. Maybe it's something you gotta, it's an arms race kind of thing. The chat feature off to the right, if I press it, is a pop-up window that goes over Tim's face. So now I can see the chat and I can turn the chat off, and then it's just out of the way. There's a button for recordings. I can see what is recording, what's already been recorded. So right now I see it recording. Chug it, it's chugging along. It's doing its thing. It's weird because it's recording you twice. But
and
maybe
just just to make sure that we're all hunky dory here, I went ahead and emailed you my version of the MP3.
Okay.
So and folks, you can always email us at gagopod@gmail.com.
It's true,
and one of us will answer.
So Squadcast has their logo in the middle. In fact, if you click on it, double click on it, you move on, nothing really happens. Nothing really happens. It used to say, yeah, we like this logo too. It's really neat. But now it doesn't say anything. Over the right says leave session, big red button. At the bottom says stop recording, shows me the recording numbers. That's cool. I can mute my mic and hide my cam on the bottom left. And then the upper left is a menu, which I can. Well, apparently hitting that button is bad. Okay, so there's a pull-down menu that says sessions. If you click that, your session ends. Don't get that. So that's something that's dangerous. You should not be allowed to do that while you're in a session. Okay, hey Squadcast, that's something that maybe you should put like some warning on or something. You're about to kill your whole session. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't let Kyle do that.
Yeah, don't let Kyle do that. Otherwise, the interface is pretty clean. I mean, there's even a sound meter, voice meter bar here that tells me if I'm clipping out or if I'm actually getting any sound at all. So, and that's it. That's it. And in some ways, Squadcast, I think, kicks the interface. The interface, I think, is way better than Riverside's interface. Riverside's interface is there's just too much going on. But what Riverside lacks, Riverside makes up for in different features. So I guess it really comes down to a couple of things. Do you need all those features? Maybe not. Is it a price thing? I'm not too sure what the price differences are. So maybe there's a price difference there. Or I think Squadcast can only do 4 people. I don't know what Riverside can do. I don't know if they can do more than 4. Maybe there's that as well. And maybe that's something like Zoom, which can have like a whole army of people in there. Maybe you don't need 4 people. If you're just doing you in an interview, Squadcast gets you there. Riverside gets you there too. But maybe Riverside is more geared towards the kind of radio-ish, because the call-in and that kind of live environment, maybe that's a little more like a Zoom light. I don't know. Because you've used Squadcast for what, 2 years now?
Yeah.
Tim, what's kind of your 2-year take on Squadcast?
Well, way I'm looking at it is like this. All right. So the Squadcast, they recently redid their pricing structure, and I'm looking over at Riverside's pricing structure. And if you just want the audio, and that's all you want, that's going to be $19 a month, and you get 5 hours of audio. I know that Squadcast was doing $5 a month, and you get 1 hour of audio. So that's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. If you want to do audio and video, you're doing $39 a month, and that gives you 10 hours of audio, separate audio and video tracks, and then audio, video, and then live, which is where it accepts the call-ins. That's going to be $49 a month. So it is really up to you on what you're going to be doing with your podcast. Now, for us, probably Riverside is not going to be what we're going to do because we get unlimited hours with Squadcast at $20 a month. We can be here forever in a week and knock that out. If you're a new podcaster and you're like, hey, I'm only doing so much a month, maybe that 5 hours is fine for you for Riverside. Maybe maybe you're doing 10 hours. Maybe you're doing a 2-hour interview every week. Well, that's 8 hours. So you're already over your hour marker on there. So you're going to have to buy more hours from them. On Squadcast, you're covered. You're good to go. You interview for the whole month.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
on the interview with Kyle for a whole month. It'll change your life. I guarantee it.
I asked the tough questions.
Yeah, for a month long. Oh my God.
Yeah, but the $20 is you can use Squadcast all day long, every day, twice on Sunday, and
Yeah.
that's it. $20 is
Yeah.
all you're going to pay. It's just it's 4 cups of coffee if you buy that expensive coffee, or it's 1 bag of coffee if you buy the ground stuff. But that's it. But if you're over here on Riverside, you're paying by the drink. So
Exactly.
what's your damage? You think about what is your need. If you don't need 24/7 recording time anytime and every time you need it, then maybe Riverside's your answer, especially if you're starting out. You just start out and you just want to kind of try it out. Not too sure if you're really going to get into this podcasting thing. Maybe that's your animal. Squadcast, however, has a lot of promo deals, a lot of super, they really love new folks coming in and kicking the tires. And they give away a lot of discounts and free trials that can get you going to see whether or not you like it too. So you can try both of these and record podcasts with both of these and then decide what's the better animal. I think with interviewing podcasts, you don't know your schedule. You don't know how long it's going to take you. There's a green room session you kind of have to warm a guest up on. Then there's the interview itself, and you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe they take a phone call. Maybe they have to let their dog out, and the interview was not an hour. It's actually 2 hours. And then there's the post interview. Maybe you guys get along, and then they want to tell you about all their friends, and they want to give you contact. Maybe our interview goes on for 3 or 4 hours. I think, Tim, you were even talking about, and this is something I've noticed with Super Joe Pardo, is a interview with Super Joe Pardo is not an hour. This interview with Super Joe Pardo is a 15-minute warm-up, an hour-long interview, and a 2-hour what's life, the universe, and everything, which is awesome because you can really just have it's almost like hanging out with your friend at a coffee shop. But if you are paying for that space on Riverside, that would be expensive because now you're starting to add a couple of hours, where on Squadcast, it doesn't matter. You can just keep keep recording the whole time if you don't want to, or turn it off if you don't want to. So,
and Kyle, they're saying that you can live stream into YouTube. So, with Riverside, so this might be, live stream 3 hours to Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, and accept live call-ins. So this might be for somebody that, dare I say it, let's say you're using Anchor and you want to do a call-in show. And so you're not paying for your media hosting. You're not paying for that with Anchor. You dump your money over into Riverside. And we're not getting paid by Riverside. I don't have an affiliate link with them.
Nope.
But maybe that's what you do to reach out to more people and all that kind of jazz. Because I've got a good buddy of mine that I used to work with. He has an Anchor account. He has a podcast that he does. And he does it he has a YouTube thing that he does separately as he's, doing his Anchor kind of stuff. But this might be something for him. So that way people, when you're doing a YouTube live thing, you can kind of chat with people. But this, you can actually get the chat and everything, share the screens and everything like that all in one shot. So
that's true.
I'm just trying to think on my feet here. That might be something for folks that are into Anchor, since you're not paying for one thing, but you're going to pay through the nose for the other thing, because that's $49 a month. And usually,
the thing is, that price starts to become it's features and price become your two factors that you have to really kind of think of. Do you think? I mean, are you driven by price so much, or are you driven by quality and features? What's kind of maybe that's the three-legged stool in a sense. Is there's quality? Is the recording any good? Want to know that. Features, does it have what I need, or does it have more than I need, or less than I need? It could go either way, I guess. And then price, is it too expensive? Is it cost prohibitive? Or is it it's okay. It's not going to hurt the bank, but it gives me enough flexibility that I can manage. So where do you fall down on where you kind of draw your decision at?
I often fall down after I get done talking with you, Kyle, but
that's dehydration. That's a whole different problem.
That's dehydration. Let me get some water on that. But no, what I look at is I look at the hierarchy. All right. So if I have something, let's talk phones for a second, because I'm getting a new phone. I'm going away from Samsung because I've got the Note 8, which, has a lot of features. It's a great phone. I love Samsung phones. but I'm going to a Pixel 4a. I've had a Pixel in the past when my Note 7 blew up. So I went over to a Pixel 2. And that was a fine phone. It had everything that my Note had. And now I'm going to a Pixel 4a, which is a little bit more stripped down, but everything works a lot smoother. So when you have all these features, and this is something I worry about a little bit with Squadcast, seeing Riverside with all these extra features, all these bells and whistles. You may have all the bells and whistles, but how well do they work?
Exactly.
You know, that's the big thing. If they don't work that well, like we were doing a screen share, and it was taking, now I've used Zoom, and I use WebEx, and I use Teams, and I know it takes a second or two for that screen share to come into place. However, when I screen shared in Riverside, and this could be because we're doing a free trial, but when I screen shared in Riverside, then, you know, Kyle can't see me, or I freeze up, or he freezes up, and there's some kind of interference going on with that. And it didn't stop until I turned off the screen share. Now, I could hear him, you know, jibber jabbing, but he couldn't necessarily hear me jibber jabbing. So, yay, I can screen share. You know, how much am I going to use that? And, you know, if I'm screen sharing, if Kyle and I need to see something right now, a lot of times we use Evernote. Yeah, when we're doing our note taking kind of stuff, and we're connected like that, so we can, you know, shoot stuff back and forth to each other while we're doing the show, before we do the show, after the show, and all that kind of jazz. But we use Evernote to go back and forth like that, and it works just fine for what it's supposed to do. Squadcast doesn't have that yet. That feature yet. Squadcast, it'll be $100 if you put that feature in, because I'm putting it out there to you. But if you have all the bells and whistles, and you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. You really are.
Yeah.
So you need to really specialize in what you do. And if all you need is just, you know, like me and Kyle do right here, we have the video, because I work well seeing his reactions when I'm looking at other people and interviewing other people. I work well with their reactions, and I can see them. Fantastic. If that's all you need, I think Squadcast is your guy. If you want some more bells and whistles, you may want to try Riverside, but I don't know how stable it is. Kyle, what do you think?
Well, let's. I mean, it's feature creep, I think, is what you're talking about. You're talking about, they have a feature. I have to build that into my software. Oh, there's another feature just came out from the competitor. I got to build that in my software. They try to be all things to all people, and turns out that none of it works well, because they've overinvested in their features. But that being said, let me ask you this, because I hosted the Squadcast call, and you connected to it, right? I see it basically shows up in your email. You hit click, and it logs right in, right? You don't have to. You get a green room. You can set up all your features, all your microphones, your cameras, and then you're in the room, and that's pretty simple. When we did the Riverside side thing, I sent you a link. How easy was it to jump into the call and the link?
It was pretty easy. However, when it was having me select my video, it was I was getting the circle of death, and I just was like, I'm not going to wait for this. I'm going to jump right on in. I know what I'm doing, and I jumped in, and you got the test pattern as my picture.
Yep.
So it was about the same as far as getting me in there. And that's the other thing you need to think about too, is when you're using these services, how are you going to use them? Who's going to be using them? It's going to be you as the host, and then your guest. How tech savvy is your guest? If they, screw it up, how are you going to be able to fix that and save that session? And how detailed of instruction do you need to give your guest once they get that email? When I use Squadcast, I tell them, I either call them or send them an email. I say, hey, listen, you're going to get an email from me from this email address. Having you hook that up, it's going to ask for permissions to use your microphone and your camera. Give them permissions to do that. And then put your name in there. Make sure your camera is selected correctly. Make sure your microphone is selected correctly. And then hit enter. And if you have any issues, here's my cell phone. Text me, call me, and let me know. So I go do that extra step, and I would recommend for any of the services, you go through that extra step, and do it like you're talking to your 75-year-old grandpa, and just do it up like that, because you never know who you're going to run into. They may be somebody. My stepson is 19 years old. He's not that tech savvy. He really isn't. You would think he would be because he's been around technology all of his life. He's just not interested in it, so he's not that tech savvy. Plus, he uses an Apple phone, which it irritates me.
There you go. That's the thing right there. He's been sucked into the cult of the Apple.
Yeah.
But as far as the tech savvy side of that, Squadcast kind of kicks it up a notch, because I'm looking at Squadcast. The frills are hidden. They're there. There's a couple different frills here for some of the technical aspects of it. But realistically, as a say I'm a guest, not a lot going on here. There's not. I'm not distracted by a lot of buttons or things I have to worry about. Where in the Riverside, wow, there was a lot going on there. That interface is quite complex versus Squadcast. Do you see that? Do you see the is that did that intimidate you, the Riverside side?
No, as a guest on the Riverside side, it was just about as much as you can do on Squadcast. You can mute your microphone, you can mute your camera, you can play around in the chat. And as a guest, that's all I can really do. And that's all you want your guests to do is, mute their microphone to do a cough, mute their camera if they suddenly stand up and they're not wearing pants. Please wear pants. At least shorts. I'm wearing shorts,
There's definitely an education part of it. You kind of have to teach your guest, no matter what platform you're using, you have to teach your guest a little bit about this. Because the first thing, case in point, when we turn on Riverside was the first problem. First problem was it selected the wrong microphone right out of the gate. And then it selected, it didn't work with the camera on Tim's side right out of the gate. It was, the mute was kind of like being weird right out of the gate. So we already having we figured that. We just refreshed the session, seemed to break out of that. But if you have somebody who's, you don't know, coming into a situation like that, that could get kind of challenging. So and then on top of that, the whole the screen share, if your guest was suddenly sharing their screen and everything froze, they might bail on you. You're like, this is not working. Maybe we need to do this at a different time. So that's a challenge too. Not like, Squadcast is definitely, every now and then it throws us a curveball. It looks like this, right when we started doing this podcast, we started up on Squadcast because that's our normal process. We start on Squadcast. We have our chit chat. We kind of, figure out where we are in the day and talk about our show notes. Squadcast all of a sudden just blew up. No idea why. And we restart a session. Everything's fine again. So just weird things can happen. And it could be, might not even be Squadcast's fault. It could be Verizon's fault. It could be, whatever, Xfinity, whatever network you're on. It could have been my laptop. It could have been Tim's laptop. It could have been, who knows what it could have done. Could have, been some gremlins halfway in the middle somewhere chewing on a wire. So just know that the sticky wickets between connecting a guest to a remote, it has a whole different level of complications, but you can get through these. But you have to play with this stuff. You have to experiment. If you have to call your wife in the other room, or your husband in the other room, or your grandma down the street, or somebody from work, get a friend. Because Facebook. If you don't have any friends, go find a friend. Be my friend. Click and then ask them, hey, you want to do a video call with me? There you go. And play with this software, because knowing what we know about Squadcast, we know that if something goes wrong, okay, dump out, reset, pull it back up. It usually works. It kicks the gremlins out. And sometimes it's because, we've been doing audio or video editing all day long and we've got some leftover, our cache is full, or, who knows, there's something running in the background we forgot was running. And then we had just, okay, let's drop that, kill that browser. Okay, refresh the computer. Boom, everything's fine again. It's surprising the amount of stuff we just forget is running in the background. But you have to play with this stuff. You have to play with this a lot, especially before you talk to a guest. You have to play with it a lot. So that's our kind of our rodeo roundup of two different types of low level ish. It's not Zoom. It's not WebEx. It's not some of the big monster enterprise level video recording software. It's not Hoova. It's simply Squadcast and Riverside side by side, and our impressions of the two. And I know Zach and Rock from Squadcast.fm. I've seen them at every conference of Podfest, and so I'm a little biased. I'll admit that right off the top. That Squadcast is kind of my jam right now. Riverside being something I just found out about, I think Tim told me just a couple hours ago what Riverside was. So before we started this podcast, so that is kind of the gist of this. Is Riverside's the contender? It's the, what do they call that? The incumbent usually has the advantage. So Squadcast right now in my camp has the advantage. I think Riverside has too many features right now, and seeing it crash with screen share definitely didn't inspire any confidence. But it has a lot of possibilities. It already can record video. I like our chat window a heck of a lot better than I like Squadcast, even though you can hide Squadcast. That's kind of nice. And you can hide the window there. You can resize the windows. That's kind of interesting. I like that. Squadcast has less features. I think that scares guests less. I like guests who don't get freaked out on the technology. I think Squadcast has that advantage. Riverside is a little too designed by engineers in a sense. Even though Squadcast in the very beginning had that very engineering feel to it, now it's got a little more polish. So, I mean, there's a lot to be said with these two pieces of software, these two platforms. I'm still in the Squadcast camp, but Riverside, interesting contender. Tim, what's kind of your final thoughts on these two platforms?
I predict.
Prediction music!
Podwrecked predicts. Right now, Riverside for me is new and shiny, and
Yes.
It's going to be something that I'm going to look into a little bit more. I've done a Squadcast for a long time, and I'm happy with Squadcast, but I see something new and shiny here, and this could actually help me out with my other podcast, which is using visual mediums. It's an art podcast. So that might, be where I end up going, because I can have that video and the audio right then and there, separated out, and be hunky-dory with it, and then put it on a YouTube channel, or actually have people interact with me live with that, however I want to do that. So for me, it's a little bit pricey though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's for just the audio stuff is $20. For I want to do some video on that. That's $30-$40 a month. 39 bucks a month, and I don't know that I want to pay that much for it, because I'm still paying for hosting fees. I'm still paying for the website and all that good stuff. So for me, it's the audio aspect of it gives me everything that Squadcast does, and I'm fine with that. The video intrigues me, but I'm a little bit put off by the crashing that we had and by the freezing that we had. Will it be better? I'm sure it will be, but not everyone across the country has really super fast internet speed. So I can see where that's going to be an issue. If I was in a urban area, not a problem. But since I'm out a little bit in the boonies, I'm on the cold side of town. Kyle's on the warm side of town. I'm usually about 2 degrees cooler. 2 degrees. Exactly. 2 degrees Fahrenheit, 1.5 degrees Celsius. So it's going to be a look-see kind of thing. And then, Squadcast has new stuff popping out all the time, too, that I see, too. So we'll take a look at it. And I'm sure we're going to come back to this in a future episode. As a matter of fact, that's my prediction. We're going to come back to this in a future episode.
Yeah, I think as these softwares mature, and I know Squadcast is getting ready to roll out some new stuff, so we'll see how that impacts their overall offering, and whether or not Riverside realizes the pricing might be a little too high right now. They change that. More to come. I think that's kind of our right now. I rate Squadcast over Riverside right now, only because, like I said before, I'm biased. But interesting. It's an interesting world to live in, where now the options just keep coming out, and you have more and more to choose from. So as a podcaster, you have a lot more to choose from than you did just 3 years ago. You did none of this stuff a couple of years ago, and now you have plenty to choose from. So this is a good time to be a podcaster.
Amen to that, Kyle.
Okay, 5. Oh, look at that countdown.
Oh, we got a countdown. Nice.
Oh.
Da 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 da. Dun, 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 dun.
Bam, bam.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun.
Bam, 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 bam. It's like, why are my ears hurting? It's like my headphones are on backwards.
Now, see, I don't hear an echo.
I asked the tough questions.
Yeah, for a month long. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm totally changing that. It was Salvage Team. I have to go on the Patreon and change it. It's now Salvage Dawg.
No. You keep it Salvage Team. And then, the super special folks will go for the Salvage Dogs. But we're not going to tell Kyle about that. Yeah.
So
there we go. Ooh. What? That is a Podwrecked first. Tim passing gas.
What the hell was that?
Audibly.
I lifted you off the seat. Oh my God.
Now, if you want to be a salvage dog, you'll be able to see this on the video.
Wow.
So pay that $5.99 to see Tim's butt be lifted off the seat by one of his farts.
I hope you didn't hurt yourself. Wow.
No, my hemorrhoids are just fine.
Oh, wow. That was insane.
Dude, I cooked some good dinner tonight. Let me tell you, dude. I
don't know if that should go on the main. That's definitely going on the blooper reel. Is that the end?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's the end.
This podcast is part of the GagglePod Network. Find more podcasts like this at gagglepod.com.